Hi, I'm Mark Johnson, your host for It's Nothin Hernando, a show about people in Hernando County who do amazing things, and when you ask them why they do it, they never really say, it's nothing. They just do it from the heart. If you know somebody who fits that bill, have them go to my Facebook page, It's Nothin Hernando, send me a message, and I'll get in touch with them. Today I have with me Drew Monty from Monty Design. How are you, Drew?
Very well, Mark. Thanks for having me.
So, I'd like to talk a little bit about you, so let's talk about you. What do you do?
Well, I have a distributorship for promotional products. We do help area businesses with any kind of item that can promote or expose their business or their event. All kinds of things like T-shirts and keychains and travel mugs and 800,000 items, to be honest with you. It's quite a large amount of items that I can utilize to help area businesses.
Fantastic. Now, I understand you have 3 boys?
I do. I have Greg, my youngest, PJ, my middle, and Drew Jr. is my oldest, and 8 grandchildren that go along with those.
You don't look
3
that
boys.
old.
Yeah.
You really don't look that old.
Thanks.
So, Drew Jr., you're saying you were telling me earlier was in the military and now he's in law enforcement, not being paid?
Right out of high school, he went to Parris Island to train with the United States Marine Corps, and right after getting out of Parris Island, he went off to Iraq and served a tour in Iraq, and came home by the grace of God unscathed.
You sound very proud of your son.
Extremely proud of him. It's an emotional thing. It's hard when people that have family in the military get it. Some people that don't get it. But let me tell you, there's a feeling when you have a child in the military or a brother, sister, mother, whatever. But when he got out of Iraq, he then went into embassy guard duty for United States embassies in Berlin, Democratic Republic of Congo. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
And Latvia, where he met his bride.
Really?
And came back here, served for almost 18 years so far, and now he's a United States Marshal in D.C. He serves in D.C. there.
Yeah, I can understand that pride. I'm proud of my son. He was a sniper. He was over at Bosnia back in the day. What about the other 2 boys? What are they doing?
Well, Gregory is currently a plumber. Before that, he worked as an advanced tech at Spectrum. He likes being a plumber. He was a plumber prior to that, and he just loves doing that kind of work, and he's very good at it, I have to say. He's also talented in the electronics end. He may go one way or the other, don't know still. But and my son PJ owns a roofing company in Citrus County.
Wow. And
he's doing quite well with that by the grace of God.
And now I want to get down to what we're really here about. I know, because we've talked, that you sit on the board of the Lucas Magazine Community Foundation. What other charitable work do you do, in a broad sense?
In a broad sense, with my business, the items that I do for promotional products allow me to help organizations that are looking to create a profit so that they can help their charities. In other words, make their charity profitable. Right. I work with the Hernando County Fire Department. One of my big ones you may have seen on TV was the autism shirts that we did. It's a blue autism with a puzzle back. We did over close to 900 shirts, and area businesses throughout Hernando were allowing their employees to wear the fire department's shirt on the job, at their jobs, to support and give money to autism.
That's interesting.
Which I think is excellent. That was one big one.
Right.
I work hand in hand with the Pasco County Sheriff's Department with his Pasco Sheriff's Charities, which you may have seen on Live PD. The Pasco County is on there with the canines. So we sell items that are popular with the canine end of that TV show, and all of the profit proceeds go to the Pasco County Sheriff's Charity, which he uses to help not only his deputies, but the canines and the all within and outside community children's charities and such like that. So that's a big deal right now. That's happening. I work with hospice, do many of their 5K runs and many of their biking events and biker events that raise charity for children's charities and such like that, charity monies, and Girl Scouts run charities all the time. I do a lot of product for them as well, helping them out with their charities. And I think that's about it. There may be one that I've listed, but I don't. It's a constant need and supply situation, which I am happy to help.
When you're helping out the Pasco Sheriff's Office and hospice and the fire department, do you do that at cost or?
I make a small profit, but certainly nowhere near anything that I would normally do. A lot of the stuff I do for them is pro bono, 100% free. Many banners and stand-up signs and any setup charges that normally would have to be charged are eaten and such because it's for a charity. Big difference between large corporation making money for the corporation and a company that is simply making money to give 100% of the proceeds from that to charity. So I'm proud of being able to say that that I do contribute deeply for all of these area charities. They're for a great cause. A lot of them, including Lucas Magazine, are for returning veterans, law enforcement officers, fire department, single parent families. Oh. These are all very, very good things to raise monies for. It's very rewarding.
Yeah. Before we get into Lucas Magazine, I just want to take a second and direct people to Facebook page TVOLT, T-VOLT. It's a training program to teach people the skills they need potentially to get hired by electrical contractor and electricians in the area. First class will be starting on February 13th, 6 o'clock at night. It's one night. It's being hosted at the Greater Hope Church to keep the costs down. And the cost for the students is $25 for the 10 weeks. So I just want to push that out there a little bit. And I did want to talk more about Lucas Magazine. Jeff Lucas will be coming on the show in a few weeks. But
excellent.
I'd like to explain to the listeners what the foundation does.
Well, stepping even before the foundation, Jeff Lucas formed an organization called Sand Soldiers of America. This was when my son was actually in Iraq. I, of course, jumped at the chance to help returning veterans. That was our main goal, returning veterans of any capacity. Some of them we would give financial help for. Some we would buy children's car seats for that they couldn't afford it. Some of them we bought a vehicle for that they come back. You'd think they'd come back with all this money, but it's not always that way. Many times some of them fall on hard times or homeless vets that are living out in the thousands of them living out in the woods that have lost their cards to say that they worked in the military, so they can't get any benefits. So we would have large lockdowns, lock-ins, if you will, where we would bring the homeless people in. There would be dentists, doctors. We would get them back that, I forget the name of the card, but it's a card that proves you're in the military. Clothing, food. And when they left, at the end of the day, we opened the gates, they had a purpose again. They were headed in the right direction. So that's what we did under Sand Soldiers of America. But we had to, unfortunately, disband that because we couldn't keep up with the Wounded Warrior projects and these massive companies. We just weren't making the impact that we wanted to make. So that's when Jim Magazine and Jeff Lucas formed Lucas Magazine Community Foundation. Along the same lines, we are doing returning vets in any capacity that we can help them. As I said before, single-parent families that are in need. First responders, both law enforcement and fire. Helping them out, like I said, in many different ways. There are so many different ways you can help. It's not just a financial need. Sometimes it's they need a special counseling, or they need, like I said, transportation. We may not be able to fund the entire event, but we have a lot of networking going on that we can get this person to give, this person to give, this person sells it, we've provided it. It's just a great feeling to be able to help, especially when you have a son in the military and, not everybody treats everybody fairly and nicely. It's nice to know that there's somebody there that cares.
Without naming names, I wouldn't want to embarrass anybody. Any stories stick out in your mind about families that you've helped?
There was one family last year, and you had Dennis Harmon on this show before. Dennis came to me and he said, I know you sit on a board, and I've got a gentleman that just returned after his third tour, I believe it was, and he had post-traumatic stress disorder pretty badly, and couldn't find a job, and they were going to oust him from his house and his apartment. He had a little daughter and a wife, and they had really no money, and they were in a bad way.
Right.
So he approached me, and together with him and the Lucas Magazine Community Foundation, we were able to not only, it's just emotional, we gave them a wonderful Christmas for their daughter. We gave them an entire Christmas dinner, plus groceries that filled their cabinets, and we gave them money to help them get back on their feet again. Santa Claus came to the door with the presents. Are you seeing the whole picture?
Yeah.
The little girl was, it was just, and they had no idea. We just showed up.
That's fantastic.
And you want to talk about feeling good?
Where is that individual today? Do you know?
He got himself a job at a local business. He is, from what I've heard, he's doing well. The family is able to have a stable environment. The daughter is happy. She's got her nice little pink bike with the basket. You know, it's just a good story. You know,
I can see
very
it.
good.
Shows in your face.
It turns me on. It's what I like to do.
Yeah, I understand. I really do. You were talking about single-parent families and first responders. Is that more geared to the mothers or the fathers, or is that a mixture? Or?
I think probably mostly the mothers, because a lot of the times it just seems as though those are what you see more of, I guess. Mm-hmm. But you know, I personally have helped. You know, you listen, and then you nominate. When we're on the board, we have a number of members that meet. Mm-hmm. We don't just automatically say, here. We vote. You have to have background. You have to have information, true facts. It's not just willy-nilly like, oh, we think this person needs some money. And then we vote on the people that we feel as though need this money the most, from the proof and the realism that we have. And then we vote on how we can help them. What's the best way that would help them from their situation? Mm-hmm. So I was able to help a woman last year in and around Christmas time, single mom with a son at home. Husband passed away. She was in law enforcement, and we were able to help her out with Christmas and some financial help. And I think that's the greatest thing in the world at Christmas time. Are you kidding? It's like you are Santa Claus.
I've done that for a few years now with Kiwanis.
Yeah,
we do the Polar Express.
Exactly.
And to make Christmas for 150 families,
you know, it's
phenomenal.
just great.
Yeah,
you know,
and
like the Toys for Tots program and all that. You know, I thoroughly believe that that's just a blessing. Oh, yeah. You know, it's the greatest thing in the world.
Now, is there a difference with what you do and what Gus Guadagnino does with the Heat Factory?
Don't really know a whole lot about his organization. I honestly don't. I've seen it, but I don't know the mission statement and such like that. I would imagine it's along the same line. I think his is more focused towards the military aspect of it, whereas we branch off into first responders, you know, both Leo and Fire, and you know, the moms with the children. But I think it's all the same kind of a thing, the same kind of a foundation.
I'm hoping to get Gus on here, too, at some point in the near future, because I believe theirs is about empowering the veterans to change their lives and be productive and get past the issues that are blocking them from performing at their fullest.
Many times, and we talked about the homeless people, these guys come out of the military and they're able to do great things, or they were working on multi-million-dollar equipment and such, and they come back home here, and little by little, they might wind up out in the woods, and then it's just so sad to see something that was so great, and then, you know, to try to rebuild them, to give them the tools to rebuild again. It's excellent. That would very rewarding.
You know, I've had friends in New York who were homeless, and some of them just gave up. Yeah. And gave up all hope. And to give them back that hope so they can become functional and do great things again is awesome.
It is excellent. It's a good feeling, and I think everybody should do it. I think everybody should do it in some capacity. Yeah. It would be a better world.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you have an event coming up, and what is that about, and who is that going to benefit?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's through the Lucas Magazine Foundation, Community Foundation. We do these events maybe 4 times a year, 3 times a year. Sometimes they're just concerts. Sometimes this is the one I like, is dances. Sometimes it's like a Halloween type of dance where you get to dress like an idiot and have the greatest fun. But generally we're having, it's called the Thin Blue Line. I think it's called Rock the Night. It's on May 10th. We'll have it at Silverthorne. You can go on lucasmagazine.com and take a look at information for the event. It is to help Hernando road deputies. We usually have a vast thing, all Leo, all this and that. This is for Hernando road deputies. In any capacity that they may help, we're going to be donating all of the profits from the event towards that. We are 100% volunteer. There's nobody that gets paid in our organization. The shirts, like what I'm wearing right now, will be being sold. We'll have a silent auction at the event. We'll have a band. There will be dancing, heavy hors d'oeuvres, and we may even be having a Dunkin' donut eating contest.
Oh my God!
Of course, it's for the Leo. Come on,
yeah.
You got to have it.
Donuts and coffee. Yeah.
I think it would be it's going to be a great event. And like I say, we do a few of these throughout the year. Everybody comes. Everybody has a ball. It's for a great cause. And
there's another event coming up on March 30th. It's the second annual Americana Scavenger Hunt. And it's to make Hernando great, where you show your true colors, wear your red, white, and blue. And that's a costume contest, a decorated car contest.
That's awesome.
More details will come out about that in a
I'll
little
be
while.
there.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
be there.
that's going to be a good
blast.
one. That's going to be a blast. There's
Yeah.
a lot of prizes, a lot of fun.
That's good.
A lot of silliness.
Yeah.
We're going to get Betsy Ross to come. She doesn't know it yet. We got a whole bunch of good stuff going on. So what else are you involved with?
Well, generally, I have my company, which I've been doing this promotional products for a good, my goodness gracious, 28, 29 years. Mm-hmm. I used to do before this, I did display work in New York. We had a display house. We made point-of-purchase displays. And when I moved here as a single dad with my two boys, I wanted to get into something, but not necessarily the production end of it. So promotional products fits. Every business in the world uses them, and it's just a great way to help. I want to be that go-to guy.
You just said something that my ear caught, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say you were a single father of two boys?
Yes. Single dad coming here to Florida with two boys, and had to do something that I could be home when they came home from school.
How old were your sons at that time?
At that time, I would say they were, if I'm about 7 and 4, 7 and 3.
So you had Drew and
Gregory,
and you were single.
Mm-hmm.
You were raising them, starting a business, and involved in the charitable work at the same time?
Yes. Well, back then, charitable work came when Drew went into the military, right after high school at 18 years old.
You sparked your interest.
That's it. You want to give back. That's when that happened. But back then, it was enough work just trying to run a business and take care of two boys, But
so where'd you meet your current wife, I guess? Because you have 3 sons, you said. So
Yes.
I assume there must be another wife in
Yes,
the picture.
my wife, Terry. I met her when I had some blood drawn. When I got an operation and I needed blood drawn. And
oh, she's a vampire?
She's a medical technician.
Oh, I thought a phlebotomist.
And she has a son, PJ.
Oh, cool.
And we have been married for a long time, and so there's no stepson. There's just son at this point.
Yeah.
So he would be my middle one. But yeah, I'm blessed to have 3 boys that are grown up, responsible, not a problem, have grandkids, being brought up the right way by the grace of God. I am very gifted that way.
My son, when he was in the military, he adopted his wife's child. She gave birth when she was 16. He adopted Alex, the oldest boy, and I'm now a great-grandfather. He is 26 years old. So it's amazing.
That's
young
awesome.
As I am,
A great-grandfather.
Yeah, that's weird.
You got me beat.
Oh, that's a weird one. Yeah, grandchildren are cool. Great-grands are like whole different
That's
ball.
crazy. Yeah, I got a little bit of time. My oldest grandson is 19.
Yeah. Wow.
And, of course, there's always the kidding. When are you going to bring me a great-grandson,
Yeah,
or great-granddaughter, He wants no part of that.
So my family, they range from the 26-year-old down to a 2-year-old.
Wow.
So the range is kind of like wide and varied.
Wow, Christmas must be very interesting for you.
Oh, it is. Grandchildren get spoiled. I mean, I haven't talked about on the show anything about myself, but my one granddaughter starred in Annie up north on Long Island. She's 9 years old. Well, it was 9 years old at the time, and she has thick, curly red hair that's down to her waist.
Wow.
And she sings, and I don't know where she got that because that doesn't come from anybody in my family. But I'm proud of her.
That's great.
I'm proud of
awesome.
Dahlia.
Yeah, I was going to say red hair. You're not a red. You're
No,
not a redhead.
no, that's my wife's son's daughter, and it's our second marriage. So I tease her and tell them they look like me. So good. Anything else you want to add?
Only that, like if they're interested in this event, this upcoming event, all of the information will be on our website, as I told you, lucasmagazinecommunityfoundation.com.
Is that accessible through Lucas Magazine also?
I think there might be a link on the website. You'd have to look.
Okay.
There's also a Facebook page. All you have to do is search under that name in the Facebook, and there it'll be. There'll be pictures of past events that we've done, check presentations, and such like that. It's a great organization. It's not just attorneys trying to give exposure to their firm. That's what I like about it. These are gentlemen that care.
Yes, I know they do. And Jeff Lucas will be a guest at a future episode. He does a lot of work for the veterans. If you get a chance, tune into that one. What he's doing for our soldiers that come back from Iran and Iraq is amazing. I don't want to take away from what he does. I'll let him explain it, but wow, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
When I consider what he's doing to help make America great.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And this is Mark Johnson, and this has been It's Hernando. It's Nothing Hernando. I'm all right. I'm confused today. And next week, my guest is going to be Cello Man. And if you've been following him, you know his story. And if you haven't, that's a good one to watch as well. Thank you for watching. Mark Johnson, It's Nothing Hernando.